Well, after David cuts the hem of Saul's robe and shows it to him after he leaves a cave, and Saul says, that you're a better man than I, you are worthy to be king. And then it says that after Saul dies, David honors him at his funeral, and he becomes a king. Then it goes into a story about David's men being disrespected by this guy who doesn't know the king, Paul, and he has a wife named Abigail, and so David's gonna go deal with that harshly, and she meets him, and she's baked these cakes and pastries for David and his guys, and begs mercy, and wins over David. David doesn't go and kill Paul and his whole house. So the Paul guy's having a party, all of his buddies over there drinking and having a good time. And in the morning, Abigail tells him what happened, what she did, and he has a heart attack, dies. And David goes and makes her his bride. Now, what happened, this is really interesting. Michelle, Saul's daughter that she gave to David as a bride. Okay, Saul ends up, when David's hiding in the cave, gives her to some other guy, right, to be his wife. So now David's got Abigail as a wife, but he takes two other servants to be his wife too. And I'm like, okay, this is interesting. This is out of order. So that's an indicator, and there's a whole bunch of situations where Saul is sometimes running his show, and he does what he did, which is irrational, giving away his daughter to somebody else now. And then David is acting, this guy, Nepal, is definitely in his subconscious mind. Abigail's not. Abigail's doing something different. Abigail's using critical thinking. Okay, key indicator that somebody's in their conscious mind. Okay, and then David goes and snatches that up. Abigail is his bride, but takes in two other servants as his bride. So I don't know what to say about that. All right. I've been thinking a lot. Yesterday, David Covillard had a birthday party, and so David's a pastor, and his dad's a pastor, and we are getting into some deep theological discussion. A huge, awesome. Okay, so the way Saul was, David did nothing against Saul. Just that he made him look bad. Okay, so, and he wasn't even David doing it. It was these girls that chanted, Saul killed thousands, David killed 10,000. That so much sent Saul over the top. He just couldn't stand David anymore. He just made him see, he saw something about himself he didn't like. He didn't step it up and take out the Philistine himself. But he was missing something completely. He was missing the God connection which David had. David had that direct link. Okay, and you're going to find that people that do not have that, they take a lot of pride in what they do. They take a ton of pride in what they themselves accomplish. And And you'll see that people that have that spiritual connection, you know, understand that whatever they accomplished was from God anyways, right? God did it for them. They were just there. They were on the receiving end. Okay, it wasn't a whole lot that they did other than get out of the way and let God, make a miracle happen for them. And so, and then when you get people like that, like, what can you do? The only example in the Bible is somebody who was locked in, in their prideful subconscious mind. That changed was Saul from the New Testament, who became Paul. And there may be a really good reason why God changed his name from Saul to Paul. Okay, because of the old Saul, right? But that spirit of Saul, is out there. Okay, that just so there's nothing you can do. It's the same spirit actually that Pharaoh had. It's the same spirit that Pharaoh had when he hardened his heart and didn't, wouldn't let the Jews go. It's the same exact spirit. And it got changed. Saul in the New Testament, who turned to Paul, it changed, but God had to do it. And that's something deep to think about. Okay, when you run into people and they're out there, they are out there. They get, and you can't. Be careful, man. I've had my run in with a bunch of them, a whole bunch of people that are in that space in their head. Okay, and they're right. They're right. They're always right. Right. Getting ready to go to church. Bye bye.